Hello everyone, welcome back to Hills and Hollers Homestead. Mike again, and the water tank is in place. So I got the water trough, got the pig nipples on it today. Went ahead and got those installed, got the heater installed in it, and got it over here set, and they are wanting water. So I'm filling it up right now. So this is the heater that goes in it. This is a Rubbermaid 100-gallon tank, and they had these heaters over there that are made to fit every Rubbermaid tank. So I got one of those. It comes in through the drain plug. It actually takes the place of the drain, and the cord comes out of the back here. So that way your cord's not submerged in water. And it's got a thermostat on it. It'll turn on at a certain temperature and keep the water from freezing. Now what I did was I took the patio stones and I laid them out. Of course, it's not perfectly level, but I also took these stackable wall blocks and went ahead and set it up on those. And the reason I did that was it said to set the pig nipples up 2 inches higher than the pig's shoulder height. Well, if I measure these guys at the shoulder height, they're 24 inches tall. So that would actually put the nipples higher than what the pigs are. So because this thing is only 26 inches from the ground up to here, to this lip. And if I set the nipples up there, I'm defeating my entire purpose because I can't maintain that water level in there all the time. So what I did was I just measured up the foot. Is that working out for you pretty good? Are you happy? So it's working out fine for them. I could probably tolerate to raise it up another 4 inches or two or 4 inches depending, but it looks like it's working out fine for them. But you know, like I said, it's not perfectly level. There is just about a ½ inch off on the level from front to back, from this side to this side. This side's a little lower, and I expect that fully because, like I said, I didn't make it perfectly level. But I just measured up 12 inches from the bottom and then raised it up on these blocks. And I think these blocks are about 4 inches is what they are. So if I need to in the future, I can raise it up more. I'm not too worried about it right now. So I took the cord and I put a step-in post here and I put it over the electric fence. Now this thing's not going to go anywhere, even if I push it all the way in. You know, at that point it can come into contact with the electric fence. But if I come under it, then come up, I have a greater chance of it actually hitting the electric fence if you get caught up in it. But I think I'm just going to leave it there, and it should be fine. It's coated anyways, but if there's a problem, I'll take, you know, it's no big deal. But what I can do with this too is I can actually move it away a little bit, and when I get my outlet or my plug ran out here, extension cord, I can take an old feed sack and put right down over top of this and protect it from the elements and everything like that. I make good use of these all extra feed sacks and stuff that I have. Now the patio stones there, of course, again, they are not level, but they're setting on mud and they'll seed in. I mean, there's 400-pound booger right there. He's going to push it right in the ground, no problem at all. But that'll help with mitigating them wallowing out a big hole here like they did out there on the other end, because I didn't put anything under it or in front of it to help prevent that. And I've got plenty more of those stones down there. If I need to come out another row or two just to do that, I'll do that. But there's 3 pig nipples across there. Like I said, it's working out fine for them. All right, so beautiful, beautiful day today. Clear sky, good sunshine. I think it's about 52, 54 degrees. Again, it was 24 degrees this morning with a good frost on. But you know, it's one of those things. I'm gonna come out here, I'm gonna be active. I'm not gonna get dressed up in heavy clothing and everything like that. By 9 o'clock it was already in the 40s. So I wear my typical attire that I try to wear as much as possible, and that is just simply a basic t-shirt. And today I've even got shorts on with tennis shoes. Now I am probably your quintessential redneck when it comes to attire, because every shirt that I own either has something to do with America, West Virginia, or the Second Amendment. That's pretty much what you get. just me. And as far as wearing jeans and boots and, you know, belt buckles and all that other stuff, that's not me. I have a pocket knife. I usually have a multi-tool on my side, but I don't have it on today. And most of the time I'm armed. I'm your typical redneck, you know. So whether I fit a specific region, a specific state or not, I don't care. My point is I'm comfortable. This is how I work. This is how I live up here on my hill. Like I said, my circle of friends is very, very small. I try not to go out in public as much as possible. I try to avoid it. Unfortunately, I do have to go out sometimes, but that's just me. I'm more comfortable up here. My focus is on my family. My focus is enjoying and working with and getting as much from God's blessings that I possibly can up here, and that's my ultimate goal, is to working towards that. With the pigs and everything, a good meat source, a good renewable meat source. Now that we have the hog, we've got the boar. In a couple months, he'll be ready to go to start breeding with the 2 girls. The rabbits, so I've already got 14, 15 baby bunnies right now. I think the second one, she kindled like 7 or 8. Like I said, I didn't want to get in there on the last video and mess with them too much because of the temperature, but it's a lot warmer today, and I'm still not going to mess with them too much because their eyes aren't open. They don't have fur yet, so I'll just wait a little bit. I'm not too interested in knowing exactly how many I have right now. I know there's at least 6 or 7 in there, or 7 or 8 in there. So renewable meat source number 2. Chickens are always going to be a good source. So there's 16 chickens over here. These are the Delaware broilers. There are now 12. I lost a rooster last week from a big fight. So he was like number 2 in the hierarchy, and I guess number 3, 4, and 5 decided they wanted to step up on the ladder rung, so they took him out. So I'm down to 12 American breasts. I've got 6 roosters now and 6 hens. So that evened out pretty well. And, eggs every day. I'm getting 4 to 6 eggs a day, mostly getting 6 eggs a day. These guys have not, the Delaware broilers have not started laying yet. They should be starting to lay very, very soon. And I've still not separated out my hens and my roosters, but I'm going to do that real soon. Now the plan is next winter. See, this is north facing side right here of the chicken coop, so they don't get a lot of sun until about this time of day. And their runs are kind of, they got decent sized runs. They got plenty of room. I mean, I keep a full feeder back here. There's a 40-pound feeder in each side of the chicken coop, so they have access to free feed, especially during the winter time. They each have a 5-gallon water on each side, so they're good to go. In the summer, because of predation and stuff like that, I have to be a little bit more particular. I had a hawk that's right here watching me the other day, just right here, and just came right in and landed right up there on one of them branches. And I mean, it was a huge red-tailed hawk, and just sat there and watched me while I was out here working and everything. And that's why I've got the orange, it's that wind fencing, I've got it up over the coops, is to keep the predators from flying down, especially them, because they'll fly right in there and get one of those chickens if left to the opportunity to get in there. So that helps deter that. I mean, it may look unsightly to some people, but it has a very practical and real purpose, and that is to protect my flock. Now the plans is hopefully, if we are able to get the high tunnel greenhouse next year, is not going to change a whole lot. I probably will open up an area to let the chickens out in behind the electric netting and stuff out here, just a little ways out in the grass to let them peck and stuff, and I can move it around. I may even put some of them in the hoop coops or the chicken tractors, and that's probably what I'm going to do, is put them in the chicken tractors and surround it with the electric fence. That way they have access to fresh grass and can come out of the hoop coop, but they also have shelter to get into if they need to, if aerial predator comes around. And then if we get the greenhouse in the winter time, what I'll do is I'll put the chickens in the hoop or in the greenhouse for the winter. Number 1, it provides them with good warmth. Number 2, it allows them to work that dirt and poop all through it and put a lot of good fertilization to it. And I'll also put the rabbits in there, of course, in their hutches and stuff like that, in their cages, and let them poop, let the chickens scratch around in that, get all that moved around. And then come spring, I can get in there and just rake all that around, get it worked in there real good, and I've got good fertile soil. And then I can move the rabbits back to where they need to be, and I can move the chickens back to where they need to be for the warmer months. But that would be a great place for them. If you look at Joel Salatin, if you know who he is, look him up on YouTube and look what he refers to as the racking, and it's the rabbit and chickens where he puts them in the greenhouse for the winters on deep bedding, and we can do the same thing here. So that's the plan for that. And like I said, renewable meat sources all the way around. Pigs, they're the biggest animal that we have. Chickens and rabbits, they're the 2 smallest animals that we have. With chickens and rabbits alone, we could survive if in a have-to situation. There's my breakfast needs met. There's my food met, for chicken. I got eggs. The rabbits, that's a renewable source of meat. Though it doesn't provide me the fat that it does, the chickens and the eggs provides me with the fat alone. Pigs are going to be a separate source again. That's why we got those. Lambs be another source of red meat that I really want to get involved in and get them up here as well. More plans in the future to help expand our ability to remain, improve our self-sufficiency and be able to produce as much food as we possibly can here. Again, I want to get 80-90% ultimately in the end. That's what I want from here. That's the greenhouse would help that immensely, because I can grow starting a lot sooner in a year and growing a lot later in the year because of the protection and the environment that a greenhouse produces. So, and like I said, all of that on 2 acres. When this is surveyed off up here, the 2 acres actually encompasses right to about right here. So 2 acres, I could make this the official pen for the pigs right here, and I could run this fence right down over the hill, and I could safely run. I could take it all around to another bit farther out around my yard there and encompass all 2 acres, and I can run 2 to 4 pigs safely on that amount of ground. This is on my 2 acres. The rabbits are on my 2 acres. My orchard is on my 2 acres. My raised beds is on my 2 acres. And out there where the greenhouse is going to go, that is still part of the 2 acres. So, if you're looking for something like, homesteading type, or where you can produce more than, you need to, well, you can produce as much or produce enough food on your land to help reduce your consumerism. 2 acres is perfect. You could do it on less if you need to. I mean, it really is, but 2 acres is the magic number. Now, we've got over 184 acres here, but where the house sits is deeded off as 2 acres, and that's how it's going to stay, and that's why I'm using as much of that as I possibly can. And though it does encompass a little bit more than the 2 acres, probably 4 total, 4.5, 2 acres, you could comfortably have a nice little lawn if you want to get that kind of lifestyle and mow and weed eat and do all that kind of stuff and fertilize your lawn. I'm not going to do that. My whole purpose is using as less of my lawnmower and my weed eater as much as I possibly can, and using the property, using the grass, using the land to help feed the animals. And because we're having this kind of weather now, I am going to go ahead and start building out the rabbit tractors here very soon. I hope to anyways, and get that done. And then when we have days like this, I can put the bunnies out on the grass and stuff like that and let them stay out there. We're going to have a cold snap, I can return them back to their cages and stuff, in the habitat, and still cut back on my feed costs. So, like I said, 2 acres, even 1 acre. We could combine this all into 1 acre if we needed to. I would definitely want to run 4 pigs on 1 acre or on 2 acres. I would probably cut that down to about 1 acre and 2 pigs. But I wouldn't go much more than that. And I would put them on the outer limits of my property there, where they could clean up any brush and stuff that would need to be. But of course, everything is going to depend on where you're at, what kind of property and vegetation stuff that you have. But ultimately, in the end, 80 to 90%, that's our goal. So, stay with us. If you want to see this come to fruition, believe me, I'm busting my butt. I'm 51 years old. My whole purpose in this life at this point is my children and my family, and taking care of them and making sure that, their food and everything is provided for from our own source, from our own location, and it's as safe as it can possibly be. You're not going to see any... Is that how you feel? I don't know if you guys heard that, but wow. There's not going to be any food recalls from our farm. There's just not going to be. There's not going to be Listeria, E. coli, or Salmonella or anything like that, because everything that we raise here is raised how it's supposed to be. It's not factory farmed. It's not chemical farmed. It's done the right way and how they're intended to. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. This thing's just about to reach its top point there, and I'm going to go shut the water off here in just a minute. So keep working the Starvat system, folks. This is the ultimate life. I love this. This is me. If I could quit my job today, I would quit my job and absolutely have no regrets whatsoever. This is what I would do the rest of my days, and this is what I plan on doing the rest of my days. I got less than 9 years to go, and I can hopefully retire, and that's my ultimate goal, because I'm going to live the life that I want to live, and I'm going to make sure that I'm able to produce the food and stuff for my family, and produce healthier food, better food, and more renewable and more sustainable. So take care. God bless. Get prepared. Stay prepared.